Hey everybody, Fishman here. Welcome to another video. Before I get into how this filter is performing, I would like to thank everyone who has taken part so far in the giveaway I'm doing. Wednesday I put up a video, and in the first day I got 97 people leaving a comment or a ballot. That's excellent. That means we're going to have a nice pool size for drawing a name from, and we'll go through all that process. It's not going to be for this Sunday's vlog, it's going to be for next Sunday's vlog. And if you haven't watched it yet and feel like entering in it, or just wanted to see the video, there's not really much in the video. It's just one of my aquariums and me talking about the draw. But if you want to pop over, have a look, leave a comment, leave as many as you want, and each one will be a ballot in the draw. So that will be for, well, about 9 days from now. So best of luck to everybody, and thanks for participating. Now, the other thing I want to talk about before we get into this is Saturday morning at 8 is the first video going to pop up for the other channel. Thanks so much for everyone who has already taken interest in it, and without even seeing a video for that. Hopefully that will go up on, like I said, it'll go up on Saturday, and then I'm going to release a video every Saturday at 8, and hopefully that'll all do well, and you'll get to see lots of building and things like that. So let's talk about this filter. This is the Java Moss box filter, and basically all it is a box filter. It has the same lower chamber as all the other box filters I've made. It's a little smaller, but it's filled with gravel, which gives it a nice weight, which is part of the reason for using gravel instead of lava rock and that sort of thing, because it does help hold the filter where I want it to go. That gives it a nice ballast. And then the other change I made is, instead of having multiple chambers I've done, I am just making one big one. As you can see here, it is filled with Java Moss. Now, the Java Moss bog filter, which is the other one, did really well with that light on it and the water flowing through it and everything else. It did, it is plugging up with detritus, but it is actually still performing really nicely. So I thought I would try this. Now, part of the concern, and showed up once or twice in some of the comments, is what would happen is the detritus would sift into this and then plug up all that space in the moss, and then kind of partially choke it out, and also partially possibly cause it to collapse, like get packed down. Well, it hasn't got packed down, as you can see. It's still quite fluffy. It's still quite, basically almost exactly the same as when I put it in. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this filter out of this tank, and I'm going to have a look at the Java Moss, because for it to do what I want it to do, it has to be growing. It can't just be existing. Now, it will filter somewhat if, because there's other organisms in here, but the whole point of this is have it grow. So I'm going to pop the top off, which is really nice. I really like this style of top because it makes it quite easy. And I actually really do like this style of box filter where I can just lift it out like this. This is actually so much more convenient than trying to wedge my fingers in and get that chamber to come out any other way. So let's have a look. First impressions, like at this point when I was looking at it, this is actually fine. I mean, it smells the way it should smell. It's been a month now, so it's not dying. But as I started looking at it, I noticed that it doesn't have the same density of leaves in the Java Moss as it should. It is, like I said, it's not dying. But it's not growing. If it's not growing, it's not doing what I needed to do. So what I did is a little bit of a cut there. I went out and I got some. This is on my right hand is now Java Moss. That's just from one of my aquariums. Just pulled a handful out. And you can see, well, actually not too well here, but I'm going to cut over to another better lighting here in a second. You can see the difference even with this poor lighting at this point. The one on the right has a much more dense leaf structure, and that means to me that this is actually healthy and growing. And the other one is not necessarily brown, but you can see it's not as sharp a green color, and it does have fewer leaves. Now, there could be a number of reasons for this. First off, because it was in a rather large terrarium, vivarium, paleodarium, whatever you want to call it, the lights were further away, so it is not getting as much light as it possibly should. But the plant on the right was actually in an aquarium that was unlit. It was just lit by room light. Java Moss doesn't really require an awful lot of light, so that, again, could be part of it. But the other thing I think it really is what matters is because there's no access for fish to this. It is in its own chamber. A lot of scuds and shrimp and stuff can get in there, and I think some of them are just chewing on the leaves. It is likely. There's no reason for the Java moss in itself to just, die off, because it is getting lots of water flow through it. It has reasonable light, more so than the one on the right. But there's something about the conditions of it being in the box filter, because it's not packing down or anything. It's not being choked to death with detritus. But there is something that's happening there, and it's either being chewed on by some of the very large number of organisms that are in my aquariums, or something else is happening. So if anyone has any suggestions, I'd be kind of interested in seeing what you think about it. It is unfortunately not going to be what I would call something like a continue, because it's just not growing. If it doesn't grow, it's not going to remove any extra amounts of nitrate. That's what I'm after, right? I want the reduction in nitrate with this. The high humidity planters do a great job of that, because they grow and they do that's fine. Even the bog filter, which I think I will be probably taking apart shortly. I need the pump for the pond, so I'm going to run that off of air, and I'm going to probably switch it over to a variation of the high humidity planter. There's an awful lot of space up there. It's got a lot of nice light, and I've got some plants I want to put in there, so it's going to get converted into something along the lines of a high humidity planter, with a variation, of course, just to try stuff out. Because I find the new version of the leak-proof cast filter that's above my current black skirt tetrad tank is doing an amazing job on that tank. So I'm going to probably do a combination between that version of the filter and the high humidity planters, because there's some interest in there, I think, for me to try and improve that. I mean, they're doing really, really well, and I really do like how they work, but they also have to be aesthetically pleasing. I'll probably put a little bit of that, more of that, on this Sunday's vlog coming up. And I know I planned on putting the pond stuff up for today, but that will have to be for next week, because I have some other stuff I need to build. So there just wasn't enough time to include that build in this. So that leaves the box filter. This box filter is, well, the gravel has already been acclimated, so it's been in the tank for long enough that it can have, can put into a filter, an aquarium. So if you have any suggestions for what you'd like to see put in this chamber, leave those below, please. So thank you very much for the interest in the draw, and again for the interest in the new channel, and let me know what you think about this. So thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next video, and bye for now.